Good morning and welcome to the Coffee Break Show. Today we are going to talk about one of the most powerful things in the world, and that is finance and money. And we're going to do that right now. But first, nobody gets in here without listening to the music. Hey, you know what? You're on the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life channel. I'm Vickie Hellman. This is a Coffee Break Show. It's brought to you by Redefining Digital Network. And if you're new here today, you have picked the most fortunate, lucky day to be here. If you're new, we go live Monday through Friday, and we share tips, tools, techniques, information, and inspiration, motivation. We share the things that are going to help you create thrivability. And today, we're going to have one of the most important thrivability people on board. Everybody knows her as MJ Caesar, but it's Mary Jo. Is it right? Is it Mary Jose or Mary Jo?
It's Mary Jose. I'm French, as you know.
That's right.
I live in an English-speaking country, so I have to make it easy. And as I say always, call me Mary Jo, MJ. Just don't call me too late. I don't want to miss it.
I want to let you know that we have become such great friends, Mary Jo and I, but I want to tell you about her and why we're having her on the show today. And she is probably one of the best experts in the field of finance and financial wellness in the world. So she is the founder of Merging Life and Money. She's a financial strategist, an accomplished businesswoman, and of course she's a mother and a grandmother and an adored wife as well. But what makes her really rock? So I want to tell you something. She has helped improve the relationship with money for women all around the world. And more than that, she spent 3 decades in the financial industry. And the last 23 of those 3 decades, so more than that, almost over 2 decades, was spent in the C-suite. So she was were you a CEO of a section, right?
I set up a company for a private group, and I was a chief operating officer for that.
That's right. And so it was a leading international pension fund. You created their Bermudian pension fund for a country, not just, hi, I'm a financial analyst and I have a couple of, degrees in that. This is somebody who set up a pension fund, was in the C-suite for 20 years. We have one of the most sought after experts for finance right today. And we're going to be talking about money, and we're going to be talking about finances. And first off, let's just say, what's the difference between money and finance? What is that?
Money is a thing. It's it's a mean of exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Finance is how you use the money.
That's right.
How you put it to use.
So, and that's what we want to talk about today, because what I want to know is, everybody's saying, hi, MJ. Okay. So happy you're here. Thank you, Karen, for being here. I want to tell you, I love you, my friend. I was forbidden to sing happy birthday today. They did not want me to sing.
Oh my God, happy birthday, Robin.
It is Robin's birthday.
Yeah.
Good morning, MJ. So great to see you this morning. Looking forward to this contract. Happy birthday to you. See, I didn't sing the whole song, just the end of the song. Hello, Vickie and MJ from Larissa. We love you, girlfriend. So glad you're here. So I want to let you know, it is dark. It is almost dark 30. The sun is just rising over there where Larissa is, and she's being with us. Thank you for being here, my friend. So we talk about money. Money is something that you earn, and finance is what you do with the money you earn. No, Vickie must sing. Yeah, I know. I broke the rule. I broke the cardinal rule. Oh, God, look at all this. Happy birthday, Robin, is coming up. And there it is. Thank you. It was a beautiful start to the day. Thank you. So I want to go back and really pull today all the ins and outs of finance, because one of the things that I know is that it's such a taboo subject. And I don't know why it's so taboo. I think if more people learned about it, wouldn't we have we'd have a wealthier society, in my opinion. But why is it so hard to talk about money? Or is it, or finances?
Yeah, Vickie, this goes way back then, and you know that the world has been, I would say, a male-dominated world, as you know,
Yeah.
and women were meant to stay home and take care of the family, and this had been fed to us from generation to generation, and so money
Mm.
was, and then overall it was, and it's still to a certain extent impolite to talk about money.
Yes.
You can't even go and ask somebody how much they make. I mean, it's like you have committed a crime.
Hmm.
So the reason why I believe money, what people put so much importance on money, and you know that's the way it goes in life anyway. Okay, things are as important as the importance that you place on them, right?
Yeah.
So, and the same applies to money. And of course, parents don't even, I mean, they will talk to their kids about their boyfriend and their
Yeah.
whatever before telling them, okay, that's how you do a budget. Okay, that's how
Yeah.
money is meant to be used. But they would give you all the advice about, what to ask,
Yeah.
what to look for, and all that kind of stuff. And even when you have kids dating, you should ask that person that you plan to live with what your financial status.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you don't want to get involved with a liability. I mean,
Yep.
don't get me wrong, love is love, but if the love has no liability attached to it, it's even better and it would last a little longer, right?
That's true, because the stress of money, what's the
That's
number
right.
one
So,
argument,
so
right?
that person is whining you, dining you, sending you flowers, and you're
Yes.
gonna ask them where the money's coming from, right?
Mm.
And after that, you get married, and when you look at the credit score, and you had planned, okay, I'm getting all this good stuff. So the next thing is a house. I'm sorry, we ain't get a house because I got a terrible credit score. I mean, you know.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm saying all that to answer your question a long way. Why is it that we are not talking about money?
Yeah.
Okay,
Why?
talking about money would make a lot of people's life a lot better. Trust me,
Hmm.
just to know what you are getting into and talk. I mean, most couples that I work with, they're not having conversation about money. They're arguing about money.
That's
Okay,
different, isn't it?
arguing
Yeah.
about money. And okay, we're going to talk about that budget, and before you know it, they can end the conversation because it's an argument. And
Yeah.
very often, it's not the money; it's just that their money value, do not align.
Yes.
Okay, because I mean, people, different culture get married. You
Hmm.
know, you have a different view. You saw your parents act with money in a different way, so you're bringing that into the relationship. And of course, we don't talk about money because it's impolite. So, you suffer the consequences of not talking about money.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting too, because I think you bring up such a powerful point. It's like, when you're in business, in any way, shape, or form, you're taught about how to make money, how to make money, how to make more money. It's like one of the biggest things searched on the internet. How do I make more money? And to me, it's like, how do I make my money grow versus how do I make more money? The other thing is, the other thing I want to talk about is, how do you have a conversation with somebody that you're connected to or intimately connected to? You're thinking of getting married, you're thinking of starting a family, or you're thinking of retirement. How do you have these conversations without them turning into a fight?
Well,
And
it's again, it's really deciding what you want in life. Okay,
yes,
if you're not financially well, okay, I mean, it's not. To me, that's what makes
stressful.
any sense because money, whether or not we like it, you know, is mixed up in everything that we do. Okay, so you get the same, and it's very emotional. Okay, you feel
Yeah.
embarrassed if you don't have enough. If you feel like you work hard and oh, I should be able to go and afford this, and and as I said to people all the time, you find yourself on the rat race because you want to
Yes.
have this, you want to have that. Most people win the rat race because they make the money, but at the end of the day, they're still a rat. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
you want to get off that rat race. So how do you go and talk to people about money. I mean, I talked to my kids about money from very early, and I could share a bit of a story. My daughter was little, and I was taking her to a birthday party, and then driving, and she's 38 now. And I told my daughter, I forgot to tell your dad that someone had called. This was way before, as I said, it was
Cell phones.
before cell phones. Okay, so and she was all upset because I had to turn around, and she said, "Oh, mommy, you should get your cell phone." I mean, I'm saying, "What she knows about a cell phone?" You know, I said, "I don't need money for a cell phone. What's wrong with you?" So I'm driving on and all this, and all of a sudden she said to me, "Mommy, you're a liar." I said, "Excuse me? What are you going to do? You calling me a liar?" I said, "What is that?" So she was sitting in the back of the car, and she opened up my purse and pulled out my checkbook and said to me, "Look, you got all these checks." Oh my God. I said, I got, she was 8. Okay. And I said, I got to teach that child
Yes.
about money. Oh my God. I mean, I had a heavy heart for the rest of the day. And I used to, I didn't even have a computer back then. And I used to keep a budget book, you know, where I would enter my income, all my expenses. And I used to sit down and do that before the end of the month. And I said, you know what? I am going to invite her to the table when I do this. And her brother, poor him, he was 6 years younger than her. He was 2. I propped him on the high chair. And I said, I don't care if you understand or not. He's going to sit here and he's going to go through this too. Because I was so taken aback. And I had to explain to her, honey, checks is not money.
That's right.
You only write a check if you have money in the bank. You know, so you could have a lot of checks and have zero money in the bank. Okay, but it was a process. So if we don't teach our kids what money is all about, because it affects everything. So
It does.
that little comment that she made, I was upset for days, you know, so, because it's so emotionally charged.
Yes.
She's everything that
finances are always emotionally charged.
You want your kids to get an education.
Mm-hmm.
Want them to go to school, get the degree, get the good job, makes a lot of money, but we do not teach them how to use that money. And that's where the problem is. Okay? So it is very, very important for parents to have that talk with kids. When my kids went away to school, because I lived in Bermuda for lots of years, so they had to go overseas for schooling. And I will not send them their monthly money if they don't provide me with a budget.
Nice.
Okay, so Excel spreadsheet existed.
Yep.
They had computers, and so I said, well, if you don't send me the budget, I can't send you any money. And if you have no money, I mean, you could find yourself out in the cold, and it's pretty cold. I had one in Canada. I said, it gets cold over there. You know, so you would want to send your budget ahead of time.
You know, this is so empowering here because I know there are, and I'm talking to you parents out there. There are a lot of you that would rather have the birds and the bees talk than the finance talk with your kids or your family. And I think when we learn about this when we're younger, it sets us up for, you know, being able to have more insight as to what to do with the money as it's made. You're providing quality of life then. It's such an important thing. I want to pop over here because I really like this. And this is true for me. The ins and outs of finances, not something that came up where I was growing up. Me either. I knew nothing. So I just learned to save, but not how to save well. And I remember in high school, I got to take advanced math courses and English courses as college prep. And they had this one class called business math. And of course, I was very excited. I thought, we're going to learn how to do a balance sheet or something. Mm-hmm. And the class was about like how to write a check. And although that was important, there was no actual business math inside. It was like an advanced home ec class. Yeah. So we're not learning the basics of finances. So we get married and we're a young couple. What are the 3 things we need to put in place to help us learn about finances? And who can we talk to? Who should we talk to?
Well, I think right today, information is so readily available.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody has a cell phone. Everybody has a computer. If you don't have a computer, certainly you have a cell phone, and they 99.9% of the phones are smart.
Mm-hmm.
So you could do a data search and things. So the first thing I would tell this couple before you even get married, okay, you know how you go to marriage counseling, but
Yeah.
they never touch about the finances.
Yeah.
Okay, don't be afraid to pose a question. Okay, what is your financial status? Okay, do you have credit cards? What is your credit card? Well, what is your credit score? You know, these are important questions that will affect your life in the future.
Absolutely.
Okay, and the first thing you gotta know that you cannot spend any more than you earn. So how do you
Mm-hmm.
do that? Okay, you have to take a spreadsheet, and I mean, there are so many apps now that you could download on your phone and that would track your expenses.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to take the time to do this. This is so very important. And if you don't want to pay for an app, don't get a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Most computer have Excel on it. Okay, and they all kind of free download that you could get for everything else, and also Excel spreadsheet. And
Mm-hmm.
enter, have very simple, have your income on top. Okay, so and have all your expenses, and make sure you break them in two. Okay, the non-discretionary and the discretionary. Non-discretionaries would be your rent or mortgage, your electricity, your utilities, the thing that you must pay in order to survive. And then if it's anything left, you could have some discretionary money, and that this could be each of the member of the couple could use whatever the discretionary money is they have left to do whatever they want to do. Okay, but make sure that you do not spend any more than you earn. That's a principle number one there. Okay, and in doing your budget, remember to pay yourself first. Always set aside some money for you. And for a young couple, you got time on your side. Okay,
Yes.
it's best to
Yes.
invest, to start saving early so that you could start investing early. Okay, so that's really, really key. And a lot of people, oh, I have plenty of time, and I'm only 20, 25, and I'm not going to retire anytime soon. No, no, no. Take advantage. If you have an employer who offers a 401k plan, jump on this. Okay, that's
You
smart.
know, I want to second that right there. One of the most important smart things I did was when I was younger, I was in college and I went home on Sunday to have breakfast with my mom and dad. And it was back when they had newspapers. And my dad was like shaking his head. And I was like, what is it? What's in the paper? And he said, you need to start saving for retirement right now. It's not going to be there when you're older. You just need to start saving it. And I was 22 years old and I was in college still at 22 and I didn't make a lot of money. I worked at McDonald's because they worked around my schedule for college, but I saved $25 a week. And at that time, that was like, squeezing me really hard, but I saved $25 a week and I started saving for retirement at 22. Smartest move I ever made. And when you say time is on your side, and I said, yes, I got to take advantage of the highs and the lows of the market. So when I was saving $25 a month, thank God I was getting a 14% return. And so that time with the rule of 72
Yep.
is so important to just the discipline of the habit, of saving. That will create wealth for you.
Yeah, you got two things on your side. You got the compounding effect, plus
Yep.
you got the dollar cost average.
Yep.
So,
And would you tell people what that is? What are those dollar cost averaging and what
but
is the
dollar cost
compound
average
effect?
is something fairly simple, and the way that I would put it is that you put in money consistently into an investment, particularly that one that you hold for the long term. And how that works is that, let's say, for example, economies are always peaks and valleys. So I would take, for example, I'm going to invest into Intel shares. Okay. And you put the same amount of money all the time. So there are price fluctuation in the price of the share. So let's say it's the summer, nobody buys computer because kids don't need computers in the summer. So the price of, let's say, Dell would go down, Dell computers, for example, or Apple would go down because people are not buying that much. So, but you're still putting in the same amount of money. So the price of the share is lower. So when people start buying a lot of computers and school goes back in, you start and you're still putting the same amount of money. So you're buying less share when it's high, and you're buying more share when the price is low. So that's why we always tell people to go into any investment at the dip. You know, when the stock take a dip, so that you put in the same amount of money consistently, and you keep on buying shares when it's low, when it's high, and it makes up for itself. And eventually, you have to hold it for the long term. You know,
you did. It has to be retirement.
So dollar cost average only work well for you if you're going to be in a hold position for the long term. So, and you have to look at also the how to say that, how the rate of interest, how it works for you. Okay, the compounding rate of interest.
Yes.
When you save and when you invest, it works in your favor. But when you hold that credit card, it doesn't work in your favor.
Yeah, because yes.
Yeah. So that's what I tell people all the time. Do not, if you can afford not to, do not get involved in credit cards.
Yeah.
Okay. Plan your meals. Go to the grocery store with a list and with cash. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And leave the credit card home. I'm not going to say a credit card is bad. No, it's good to have a credit history, but it's only good if when you use it, you pay your balance right away.
Yes, okay? Month to month.
Pay your balance right away, and you never know, an emergency could come up, then you may not have, what it is, that you need at the time, and it could be a matter of death or life. So you got to do what you got to do. But I would tell people, if you don't know how to use a credit card, stay away from it, particularly young people. Okay? If you cannot afford it, if you don't have a plan to repay that credit card right away, don't even go for it. And now here, that credit card come and meet you. You find it in your mailbox.
Yeah.
Okay? So stay away from that. Because
it's interesting that you're saying this, because in the 80s, when I was in college, there was a place where you got your first credit card. They gave it to you, and if you filled out the application, you got a T-shirt or a candy bar or something like that. And I remember thinking, the credit card gave me $2,500, mm-hmm. And my ignorance back then, because I was very young, I think I was 20 when I got my first one, maybe 19, and I thought like the object was to fill it up fast, like it was free cash or free money. Mm-hmm. And it was one of the most painful things I learned how to do, was how to pay that credit card off. And I spent my summers, I had to work 2.5 jobs to get that down to nothing again. Larissa says, thank you, MJ. I needed to teach my grandchildren about money and finance. They have a tendency to want without seeing the need. This is so important, because when we talk about the discipline of savings, it's weird, but at first, saying no when all your friends are going out for a pizza and beer, and you're like, no, I can't afford that today. It's really hard to say I can't afford that. So what I turned around and said is, I don't want to afford that. I don't want to afford that. It gave me a more empowering thing. Instead of saying, I can't afford that, I don't want to afford that. I don't want to pay that price. And suddenly there are some tips and tricks that you just talked about. One is, and you guys, this is really something, one of the best things ever. to have that conversation before you get married. Learn about their money habits before you get married, because sometimes you'll marry I got to have the latest, greatest gadget, blah, blah, blah. And you're going in debt because they don't have a no button. No, they can't say no to themselves. And that's the biggest reason I think people are broke, is that you can't say no. It's not even that you don't know how or what to do with the money as it comes in. It's that you want to use it to satisfy your ego and your attachments and your pleasures and how you look that way. And I want to know, when you get somebody like that, how do you have them break the habit? I know we can download an app and I know we can have a budget, but when you're sitting down with a couple and let's say he's very conservative with money and she's, I'll spend it as you make it, babe. What do you say to them?
Yeah, the first thing I do, Vickie, I really look at the financial mindset. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said always, I could give you the best plan, but if you're not emotionally ready to deal with it, it's not good. You're going to do it for 2 months and you're going to fall off the wagon. And you can just blame me. And, instead of, so what I do, I sit down with people and I get them to do some self-introspection.
Yes.
Go back and look at your money history. Okay, what happened at home? Okay, when on the money side, what did you hear? And it could be cultural. It could be friends that you see things and you want to do the same. But so it's like everything else. Money is your friend. So you got to develop a relationship with it. Okay? And that's really, really important because then it's very, very emotionally charged. So, and that's what I'm saying, when you start talking with your spouse, it's what started as a conversation ends up as an argument. Okay, simply because you have not taken the time to see what money means to you. Okay, money could mean something totally different you or to me. And I tell people all the time, you have to understand what it is. Okay. And I tell people, I will tell you how rich you are when you show me how much you have that money cannot buy. Okay. Yes. Because you cannot go to the Publix or the Safeway and buy 2 pounds of love, 3 feet of respect, and that kind of stuff. You can't. Okay. Yes. So you got to sit down with that person and find out exactly what money means to them. And because the person who seemed to know more about it would take over. And usually it tends to be the male in the relationship. And the lady whose parents said, honey, you don't have to worry about that. Okay. You find a husband and he's going to take care of you. Wrong. Okay? No, don't believe it. Okay? So learn about money, find out and understand that money is a mean of exchange. Okay? You're using money in exchange for something else. Okay? Your self-worth is not your net worth.
That's right.
Okay? So people got to understand that. Money doesn't define you. Okay, the money that you earn, you got to tell the money where to go, because you don't want to find out where the money went, because you know what, you'd be broke.
This is so important what you're saying, and it's why I think everybody, and I know there are apps out there, but I don't give a darn. If you have a good financial advisor, you are going to become wealthier. I want to tell you a quick story. My parents made their money illegally, and lots of it. They made lots of money illegally. And I remember there were burlap bags of money in our house from the way they made their money illegally. And they couldn't, buy the things that money can buy, have the lifestyle that the money they had, because it would have tipped off the IRS. Right. So when I was growing up, I thought, it doesn't matter if you're a millionaire or not. You can't even spend it, even if you've got it. Exactly. And what happened was that was running my mindset. And no matter what happened, that app was never going to tell me, hey, Vic, this mindset is what's blocking your money from coming. It's only when you sit in front of your financial advisor and go, you're capable of doing this. Why aren't you doing this? What's the thing that's blocking you? And sitting down with them and being able to say to them, well, it doesn't really matter if you make millions. You can't even spend it because, and I know this because my dad did this. And I want to tell you that burlap bag of money sat in this pantry for years and years and years. They take, a little bit of money out of it, but your mindset around that, I had to shift my thinking. No app can help you shift your thinking. Reading a book can't shift your thinking. When you sit in front of a financial professional, that's when you get to deal with the ghosts, the money demons, and learn how to do it right. And I did that at 27, 28, and 29. And that helped me so much. And I think that's why it's so important to have financial professionals right now.
Yeah. And people think that, I could go read and I could just apply it. No, you can't. I could tell you, you need to talk to people to understand money, and they will help you understand how it works. But it's always, doesn't matter who I deal with, I have to sit with them and find out where they stand emotionally, what kind of relationship they have with money, what money means to them.
Yes.
Before we could start any type of remediation. So you got to identify the issues that you have, or the limiting belief that you have about money. Then you got to release them, and then you got to reset.
And this is so important what she said, because for me, I didn't just have to reset. So why would you be rich? I thought everybody made money illegally. The rich people did it all illegally. And when you're young, you see it happen. You just think, well, everybody makes money this way, and that's how the rich get rich. They illegally do it. I had to untwist that and go, oh, you can make a fortune helping people, serving humanity, and doing it legally. Well, that wasn't in my sphere. And no matter how many books you read, no matter how many apps you're on, until you get in front of that financial professional and deal with your financial issues, mine were what they were. And I want to tell you, once a layer of that peels back, trust me, another financial issue or a belief that blocks you from having what you want pops up, and you remove that. And every single time I worked with my financial professional, it wasn't just, here's what my Roth IRA was doing, here's what my 401k is doing, it wasn't that. It was like the learning about money is empowering. And tell me why you work with women. Why is it so important to empower women in finance?
I work with women because in my previous life, I was setting up pension plan and helping people save for retirement. And talking to them, I realized that they knew nothing about money. Okay, and they would tell me, "Oh well, I have to contribute. Why don't you make the investment decision for me?" I said, "No. We have to take a holistic view of your situation and take a look." And they were completely in denial, did not understand. Let everything. Oh, I have to talk to my husband about it. And the trigger for me really was a good friend of mine. I mean, we went to university together. I met her through her husband, who was my university buddy, and prominent lawyer and everything. And he died unexpectedly. And she called me to tell me, guess what? He's gone. I said, what happened? Well, massive heart attack. And she didn't even know how much her mortgage was. Okay, educated woman, making lots of money, but the husband handled everything in the house. So regarding finance, okay, so she didn't know if it was life insurance. She didn't know. She had no clue of what was happening financially. So she found herself having to grieve for her husband, having to be there for her boys, and having to, unravel, what it is that must be done. And I said to myself, when I accomplish my mission, which was to make sure that my kids were educated, I will definitely step down, hang my license, because I had the good days of trading with the big guys, and I will make myself available to empower women with what I know about money. It is very important to understand how it works, what it could do for you, and how it could make you broke.
Yeah.
So there are, so before we get into the whole savings, investing, spending, borrowing, buying insurance and estate planning, which is part of your financial picture, you got to have your mind in the right space. Okay, so
Yeah.
and I said I'm not going to go in with Vickie today and start talking about, oh, let's talk about money, let's talk about blockchain, let's virtual currency, fiat, all that kind of stuff. These are technical stuff that you could learn in a book. Okay, before you could get to that space, which I'm quite qualified to talk about, you need to have your head in the right place.
That's the big thing right there, because I like Larissa's statement here. This is really true. Society is encouraging consumerism and luxury living, but leaving behind the subject about means. That's true. I mean, everybody wants to sell. They'll vacuum the money right out of your pocket if you aren't willing to protect it.
Let me say something to as well. It's all about knowing your why. Why are you here? Okay, so you want to use money in order to give you your best life. Okay, and most of us are quite able and capable to use their money and get them, and based on, if you know what makes you happy, that's where you would put your money. It's not about having $1 million, $2 million.
Yes.
It's about knowing what makes you happy and then apply your money accordingly. Okay, so I always tell people that, understand your why. I mean, don't say, okay, I want to be like my neighbor with 3 cars and the jewelry and the designer handbag.
That's
and
right.
Whatever that you see on TV and think that they have arrived. No, they could be deeply in debt. You don't know that. You don't know how they acquire what they have to. And I always said, okay, the grass may look greener over the fence, but you don't know how much is their water bill.
That's right.
Don't even go there. Okay. So concentrate on what you know. Try to find out what makes you happy. And then, and so for some people, it's taking 2 cruises around the world, every 6 months. And for other people, it's just having a porch and a rocker and be able to walk their dog every morning.
I want to say something about this because I learned this via the hard way, the school of hard knocks. And it's so important to understand how you want to live. And there is a point where everybody wants to follow the latest thing, like, oh, real estate's the latest thing, or, oh, this trading thing is the latest thing. And I did that. At one point Robin and I had a lot of real estate. We had like 3 homes and a townhome on top of that. Mm-hmm. And real estate was the big thing. But what I learned was, I don't like real estate. And I wasn't following my why. And what I did like was small and cozy. I didn't want 5,000, 15,000 square feet. I'm like, there's just 2 of us. So what happened was, I learned the hard way that when we sold all our real estate and bought what we actually wanted, I remember Warren Buffett. Mm-hmm. And Warren Buffett had this $750,000 home that he bought years ago when he was a multimillionaire, and he's still in there as a billionaire. Mm-hmm. He's not like, hi, I have a $32 million home. He knows what he likes. What you just said is so empowering. So when I got done, I thought, you need to be clear about the assets and the investments and your why. Why do you want this? Mm-hmm. Do you like cozy? It's okay to have a 2,000 or 1,500 square foot home if you like cozy. It's okay to have that.
And guess what, Vickie? You can only be in one place at a time.
That's true. You can only live in, out of those 5 homes, we can only live in one at a time. You're so correct. And I got to tell you, the stress off my back when I let go of that. So what I found was there are other assets I love, but real estate isn't one of them. And it's a big thing right now, REITs and things. What you said is so important about knowing your why, knowing what you love, first your mindset, then your money. Yeah. And that is so important for young people right now.
Yeah, I could tell you. I mean, Susie Oman is a friend of mine, and I don't agree with everything that she says, but I could tell you, she has some good advice. You know, like for example, pay yourself first.
Yes.
Okay, make sure that you're taken care of before you start putting money aside for your kids' education. Your kids may get a chance to get a scholarship to go to school,
Yes.
but you ain't gonna get a scholarship for retirement.
That's true.
Okay, so
That's very insightful right
you,
there.
you better put your money aside because this is your paycheck when you no longer have a paycheck.
Yeah, and sometimes, believe it or not, those funds, those 529 plans or stuff like that, it's not easy to get their college money out of the plan. I mean, they're not always in your best interest. I want to pop over here because people are talking a mile a minute, and Karen is saying something that I don't know if I can get the whole thing on. I was abundantly blessed to be raised in a family of first generation money and real estate investors. When I was 8 and my brother was 7, my parents made a down payment on a rental property for each one of us. We deposited our rent checks ourselves and wrote checks for utilities. Wow, smart parenting. Hugely educational. One, my dad told me my property had a mouse problem and the exterminator would cost X amount of dollars. He laughed when he says his 8-year-old said, buy mouse traps. That's right. You got really creative and conservative. Laugh out loud too. When I sold that property we lost it. It stops right there, Karen. It won't give the whole thing. That's it. And now I want to hear about it. But those are kind of, things that you have to look out for. Brilliant approach. We always find the money for the things that we want and love. Yes. I want to let you know everyone has money. Everyone has money for the thing they actually want. And if you don't have money, you will find a way to have it. Love makes even temporarily happy. I want to let you know my parents were super strict. And I remember one college year, I did not have the money for my books. And my dad knew I was so worried about, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. And he waited. He wouldn't give me the money. He waited till I said, this is how I can get the money. And then he said, there you go, Vickie. And I did. I was like, there's the money. I made the money. And there it was. We get caught in our mindset about that money.
Yeah. Also, it's very important, Vickie, that people understand their need versus their wants.
Yes. Their need. Tell us a little bit more about that, because I think
people tend to buy what they want.
Yes.
Not what they need. Okay. So, but what's important is what you need, really. That's why you have to apply your money first. You need to put money aside for your retirement. Okay. But you may want that car or that trip, which is not going to be doing much for you when you retire, and you know how people like to have instant gratification.
Yes.
And they trade that for long-term suffering.
Yes.
This is not an option. Okay. This is definitely not an option. So, and I'm saying I'm helping on this because people, they say, oh, my portfolio this and my portfolio that, but their mind is not in the right place. So how could you even start picking a portfolio? I mean, to me, you got to go into things that works for you, okay, and into things that you understand, and don't be gullible and jump for everything that you see on TV.
Yes.
Okay, be discerning about the choices that you make. Okay, because as I said, finance in general could be it's an acquired skill. Okay, but in order for it to work for you, you have to be in the right place. So I will talk to my clients until I feel that they are ready to do a financial plan, to understand, the building block, the financial building block, things like goal setting and spending and borrowing and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to go into there until you give me the sign that you're ready for it.
Yes. Yes. That's so interesting, because when I'm talking about, this is why you have advisors. I mean, you have your tax advisor, you have your legal advisor, you have your money advisor. People who have advisors get 7 and 8 figures because they have advisors. MJ, I deeply respect your focus on women. No illusions that someone will take care of you. You're responsible for your finances. Thank you for that. That is so important. Those lessons are evergreen. The details may shift slightly, but the overall lessons are foundational. Yes. This is Glinda. Hi, girlfriend. Will this be on replay? Yes. And you should listen to it more than once. Transporting mental patients right now, God's mission for me. But I'd love to hear this. Yes, you can certainly hear this. And it is on Pandora. It is on it. We are live on like 5 channels and 27 podcasts right now that are going live. iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, wherever you want to hear us, we're live, and you can hashtag replay. Not only that, at the end, I promise I will, if you want to be connected with MJ, which I think everybody should be, because I think she's the most integrous advisor around with the most experience, and I absolutely love her and what she does. This is interesting right here. This is your paycheck when you no longer get a paycheck. That is MJ's. This is your paycheck when you no longer get a paycheck. That is for retirement. This is Glinda right here. Thank you. You're welcome. We always want to have that on there. Larissa, there is also a cultural limited attitude towards money and wealth. Yes, there is. Somehow that is shifting, and it's shifting because advisors like her get on.
If I could add something here, I totally agree, Larissa. However, okay, as a kid, we are a product of our environment, that's for sure. But as an adult, we are a product of our expectations.
Ooh, interesting. Say more about that. That's interesting.
Okay, so again, you set your why, know your why. Okay, so once you understand your why, your expectation will be managed and fulfilled. So we tend to, and don't get me wrong, culture plays a huge role. I mean, I come from a French, Creole, European culture, finding myself in a totally British environment, and now in the US, I had to learn how to pivot and how to adapt to those different cultures. But there is a common denominator there, okay? Women are viewed, or were viewed, less viewed now as the homemakers, you know, the one, and guess what? They are the greatest savers in the world. Okay, but they don't know, so they stay away from taking risk with their money. I mean, they would save, but they won't invest. It's a huge difference between saving and investing.
That's correct.
Okay, so
and say the difference right there, because that's so important.
Okay, when you save, you put the money aside. Okay, and when you invest, you get your money to grow. It's a difference between building and growing. So you're building a pot, and when your pot has reached a certain level, then you want to start growing your pot. And how do you grow it? It's through investment. Okay.
Beautiful.
And I always tell people, it's not because that you are okay, I'm nearing retirement, so I have to de-risk and go into something very like safe. No. You really have to have an appetite for it, because I will never tell people go into risky stuff and then you get palpitation of the heart and you can't live to see your money. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying make sure that you have a balanced portfolio, because people are living longer. So you want to still take advantage of the upswing in the market. So again, that could be the subject of a different show, but I really wanted to put the emphasis today on having the right financial mindset before you start talking about I have a portfolio. Okay, so you have to know the fundamental of what it is to be financially well.
That's right, stable.
Because you're not, exactly. So it's a balance. So you can't say, oh yeah, well, yeah, I got money, so I could do that. No. And women, and unfortunately, not the one necessarily who don't have a lot of money. I found that with people, that are very well financially, they have this poverty and scarcity mentality, okay, that they hold on to stuff that they don't need to hold on to, that They're afraid of investing because
Yep.
I might lose it. No, you can't do that. Okay. The only way you could be more comfortable at doing it is by educating yourself, by investing into yourself, by learning what works for you. And because before you do that, you got to know what is it that you want.
This is like it's like, to me, the ground floor foundational pieces of building quality of life. Now, everybody wants to have quality of life. They want to look successful, be happy, be all of these things. And one of the most important ways we do this, one of the most important ways this happens, is to have these core foundational pieces put in place right now. And one of them, I love this, the mindset, your plan, because your plan, I don't care if you're 18 and you're listening to this or you're 80. So I want to let you know, my mother, and I know she's my mom and she has me, and that's fine. But my mother is in her 80s. She has investments, still is investing.
Mhm.
She's still having her money grow. She still practices the same money values that she has. She educated herself about money, both legally and illegally, whatever that was, because it was back then. She's in her late 80s right now, and all the investments that she's made, all of the things that she's done, that she's taught us to done, it's held a lot of us up over the years during this time. And it's like, these fundamentals, when they're learned in your 20s, you have the time to grow and enjoy the fundamentals. I want to let you know that one of the greatest things that she's talking about is your mental well-being. I don't know if you've ever had money stress. I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but I know I've had a company that I started just go belly up and, lost thousands and thousands of dollars and had to pay off like $85,000 in debt and everything else. That stress, if you experience it once, you never want to experience it again.
Vickie, you don't need to have a company. 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Okay. And 90+% has credit card debts.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. So when you look at the statistics, when you look at the debt, the America's debt, okay, the bigger chunk is the people's debt. It's not
personal debt.
Correct. Okay.
That is huge. 90%.
Yep. So let me tell you, people are stressed. People can't sleep, and the biggest stressor in America is money.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest one. So I'm saying all that to say that it does not happen to just business owners. It happens to everybody who does not know how to handle money. To people who have a very sabotaging relationship with money. Okay, so you got to find out, why are you making those bad money decisions? Correct.
Yes.
Recognize the fact that you have those issues.
Yes.
Okay, and get rid of them and reset yourself.
And that's possible wherever you are, is reset yourself. Listen, I want to take this opportunity to talk about the reset yourself. And I wanted to also talk about your website, which is up right now. And it's mariejocaesar.com. You can go there, and highly recommend the reset piece of it, because if you've learned money habits that are crap, it's not your fault. It's what you learned. If you continue using crappy money habits, it's your fault. You're too scared to go through it. You're too scared to figure out, oh my God, I have, financial cancer and it's at stage 4 and I really need to do this. So talk about how to reset. What do people can do besides contact you, which I suggest you do?
In order to reset, you really have to take the time and do some self-introspection. You got to go to dig down. You got to do a deep dive into yourself, okay? Because it's you. Everything starts and ends with you. You have to be brave enough to look at yourself in the mirror, it's like everything else, and say, why am I in the situation that I am right now? I have a job, I have money, but I'm broke.
So the approval of
Okay?
others, the
Yeah. So
consumerism.
exactly. So you have to sit
Yes.
down and said, and I mean, don't be afraid of saying, you know what, I have some bad habit that I picked up from the time I was a kid. I mean, I probably saw my mother do it, and you know how
Yes.
that goes, right? You see your parents work, 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 and you said, you know what, I'm not going to. No, no. When I grow up, I'm not going to be like this at all. Okay, and you go the complete opposite way. You run away from that, but and before you know it, you are right back on it. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
but you got to I mean, to me, you cannot continuously blame what you learn because you're an adult now. It's okay when you're a kid. It's like you're 20 something or 50 something, and you're trying to fit in clothes that you had when you were 5 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so this can work. Okay, so you don't have much of a choice when you are living home. Okay, your parents are providing you a roof over your head. They do the best that they can for you to become, a productive member of society in their mind. But once you get out, you grow up. As I said, you become a product of your expectation. So how do you
Interesting.
reset yourself? Look at yourself in the mirror. Okay, I'm a big girl. I mean, I love to look at myself in the mirror naked after my shower. I'm not afraid, and I know that I got to drop the pound. But you know what? That is coming. So be true to yourself and say, okay, I do have those financial issues. Okay, you could look really nice leaving the house, and you don't have a
Be
penny to
stressed at night, wondering how you're going to afford it all.
and you can
Don't
sleep.
even want to go there.
You can sleep, and what you do? Oh, let me go on Amazon and order some more. Let me see how much credit I got left on this card,
Yeah.
and let me do. No, you can't do that. Okay, so you got to step back, take a journal, start writing.
Yeah.
Okay, and as you write things, okay, go back and in your bank and in your emotional bank and find out, okay, what deposit did I make in there that I gotta get rid of right now. Okay, you gotta to get rid of those sabotaging deposits that you get in that mind bank of yours. Okay, so that's what you got to do. And then you know what, it's a new day, it's a new dawn. Set goals, achievable. Okay, don't set goals based on what manager told you or based on what the neighbor is doing. Set goals in small bites that you could achieve. Okay, and every morning I get up, I say, I got to achieve 3 things today. Okay, and
Mhm.
do them. Okay, and practice gratitude. Be thankful. Okay, be intentional about what you ask for, and the
Mhm.
divine will provide.
Yes, yes, that's so. Oh God, that's so pertinent. Um, do a financial reset. Step one, step deep into yourself and assess the good, the bad, the ugly about your relationship with money. I want to say a couple of things because I want people to know everyone who achieves greatness has advisors and coaches. Everyone, whether you're an Olympic athlete, whether you're a CEO, whether everybody has those advisors in there. You want to make sure that you hire the best advisors that are going to help you grow. You don't if you have an advisor that sucks, you fire them and you find a better advisor. When you get to the point where you think you can have a tax attorney and you think you can have a business strategist and you think you can have an accountant on top of that and you think you can have everything else but a financial advisor, you're going to miss the boat. Advisors serve to help you take your 6 figures into 7 figures into 8 figures over a period of time. It's like how to help your money grow, how to keep your mind around your money, because at the time that I got called out by my advisor thinking, well, I shouldn't start a business because everybody does it illegally.
Mhm.
Imagine my freedom, my success when
Yep.
I found out you could do this legally and learning all about it legally. MJ, I want to say I think you're one of the most inspiring women I've ever spoke to about finance and money. Go ahead,
I
say.
just want to take this opportunity to tell all the women that are listening that I would be quite prepared to start a conversation with women
Yes.
about money. You know why? Because we don't ask people how much they earn, and we
Yeah.
go to work. We go to a job that we hate.
Hmm.
Okay, and we can grow the whatever we need to grow to go to that boss and say, you know what? I don't think that I'm being paid fairly.
Yes. Yes.
We can They tell you you can't discuss salary, so of course you
Hmm.
are not going to discuss salary. We got to break that, because you find people doing the same job, and it could be two women, could be a man and a woman, and they got totally different salaries. How would you know that if if you don't open the dialogue? If you don't
So
start.
true. That
Okay,
happened to
so
me.
I would challenge people here to join my Facebook group, Finance Conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, and let us have a dialogue. Let us open it up, and let us bring the burning issues that we have, and let us learn from one another.
Would you
Okay.
be willing, Karen, to put her Facebook group in there? I see the website in there, but let's put her Facebook group in there because I think this dialogue is so important. It's like wealth is achievable. It's a skill set you learn. It's just a learnable thing. It's like when you learn to cook. If
Yeah.
you learn to cook, you can cook whatever you want. When you
Yeah.
learn about that, it's so important to understand how.
Finance Conversations. Okay. .com.
Financeconversations.com.
Yeah.
And your
Conversations.
Facebook, what's your Facebook group page?
My Facebook group page is merginglifeandmoney.com.
Merginglifeandmoney.com. Merginglifeandmoney.com.
That's my business page, and my group is financeconversations.com.
Financeconversations, plural.com.
Yeah.
This
Mhm.
is so important to have because I think she is really one of the most experienced financial people to talk to because her integrity level is so high. Her knowledge base is so over the top. She has been in the trenches for 3 decades and two of those decades in the C-suite of them. We have financial professional right now that is definitely dealt with creating an entire pension fund for a country, not just like here's your 401k for a country. So when you're looking at someone who absolutely knows the ins and outs of finance and you're thinking, wow, I need a financial advisor, this is the person you want to talk to. And I know there's a lot of women watching right now that are high net worth earners, and you want somebody who's got experience with high net worth earners, and she does. And this is why it's so important to have her. Thank you for her Facebook group is there, Merging Life and Money. I want to thank you for being with us and having this conversation today. I
Mhm.
want to thank you because it one showed me how far I've come, all the things I had to hurdle over that now I'm like, wow, I remember that. I remember that. I remember that. And I want to thank you because so many women want to learn more about money and don't know where to go. Like Larissa, I need to learn more about investments. I will contact you, MJ. Thank you
No
very much.
problem. Yeah, but
This is,
again, Vickie, it's all starts and ends with you. Okay,
yeah,
I could help you. I could tell you what to do until you are blue in the face, until the cars come home. But you got to act. You
yes.
got to take action. You got to implement. Okay, that's key.
Yes. Did you hear that? So if you're going to be a high net worth earner and you want to implement, this is the gal to talk to. This has been such a fun coffee break show. You know, I love you to death. She's part of our community and I love having you with us. And I want you guys to contact her and do the thing that you can do. We put all the stuff inside there. You can talk to her, send her an IM or an instant message if you want a private consultation with
Yeah,
her.
I could give you my email address, which is fairly easy. It's mj@mariejocaesar.com.
There it is, MJ at maryjocaesar.com. That's been the Coffee Break Show. Thank you, everybody, for being on. Mwah. Remember,
Thank you
this,
for having me.
this is the show me the money talk. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow where we'll be talking with MJ as well. See you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye
Thanks
bye.
for being here.